The 5 monopolies running Canada's economy. Protected. The Canadian illusion. Canada looks like a model country. Stable, polite, wealthy, universal healthcare, strong institutions, low corruption at least on paper. And yet, Canadians pay some of the highest cell phone bills in the world, some of the most expensive internet prices, absurdly high grocery costs, sky-high housing prices, and quietly rising banking fees. So here's the uncomfortable mystery. How did a country with only 40 million people become one of the most expensive places to live without being poor? This isn't inflation. This isn't global supply chains. This isn't bad luck. This is design. Because Canada isn't run by free markets. It's run by 5 protected monopolies.
A country built on control. Canada's economy didn't evolve like America's. It didn't embrace aggressive competition. It didn't let companies fight it out. Instead, Canada followed a quieter philosophy: stability over competition. From the very beginning, Canadian policymakers believed fewer companies must have easier regulation, big firms, national champions, protection, that is economic safety. That idea shaped everything, and over time, it hardened into something else. Why Canada chose monopolies. Canada is vast. Population is small. Distances are enormous. In the early 20th century, leaders feared infrastructure duplication, foreign takeovers, economic instability. So they made a choice. Rather than many competitors, Canada's would allow a few large firms, strict regulation, government protection. The intention was good. The consequences were not. Monopoly for one. The big 5 banks. Let's start with the heart of the system. Canada's financial system is dominated by RBC, TD, Scotiabank, BMO, CIBC. These 5 control nearly all banking. Unlike the US, foreign banks are restricted. New domestic banks face huge barriers. Competition is intentionally limited. The result? Stable banks, low risk, no major collapses in 2008, but also high fees, limited consumer choice, immense pricing power. Canada's banks are not innovative. They are protected when stability became entrenchment. As decades passed, something subtle happened. These monopolies stopped being safeguards. They became gatekeepers. Regulation meant to protect consumers began protecting incumbents instead. And the same pattern repeated again and again. Monopoly number 2. Telecom, paying more for less. Canada's telecom sector is dominated by Rogers, Bell, TELUS, 3 companies. That's it. They control mobile service, internet infrastructure, broadcasting network access. Foreign competition, restricted, new entrants, bought out or crushed. This is why Canadians pay some of the highest mobile prices on Earth. For slower speeds with stricter data limits. This isn't inefficiency. It's absence of competition. Monopoly number 3, grocery chains and food prices. Food inflation shocked Canadians. But the truth is older than inflation. Canada's grocery market is dominated by Loblaws, Sobeys, Metro. 3 giants control most food distribution. They own wholesale supply retail brands, private labels. When costs rise, prices rise quickly. When costs fall, prices don't. Why? Because consumers have nowhere else to go. The breaking point when protection became extraction. Here's the turning point most people miss. At first, monopolies offered stability, predictability, national control. But over time, they began extracting rent, not creating value, not improving service, just extracting. And when housing entered the picture, everything broke. Monopoly number 4, real estate and housing finance. Canada's housing crisis isn't just supply and demand. It's financialized housing, banks, developers, REITs, zoning authorities. Together they created Restricted supply, easy credit, rising asset prices. Homes stopped being places to live. They became investment vehicles, retirement plans, speculative assets. Young Canadians weren't priced out by immigrants. They were priced out by capital. Monopoly 5. Transportation and energy infrastructure, Canada's railways, pipelines, ports, all controlled by a handful of firms. With government blessing, competition is nearly impossible. This means higher shipping costs, higher food prices, higher construction costs. Everything connects. Why Canadians feel poor? Here's the paradox. Canada is rich. Its companies are profitable. Its institutions are stable. But Canadians feel squeezed. Why? Because monopolies don't innovate. They extract. They raise prices instead of improving value. They lobby regulators instead of competing. And consumers pay the bill. Why nothing changes? Politicians promise action, but look closer. The same monopolies fund political campaigns, sit on advisory boards, shape regulations, breaking them up, politically dangerous, opening markets, threatens stability. So governments choose minor fines, symbolic investigations, temporary rebates, nothing structural. History repeats. This pattern isn't unique to Canada. Imperial Britain, late Soviet Union, pre-reform Japan, all shared, protected, incumbents, weak competition, rising costs, falling innovation. Eventually, systems stagnate, not because they collapse, but because they harden. Why this model is failing now? The monopoly model worked in a slow, domestic economy. But today, global competition is faster, technology evolves rapidly, capital is mobile, protected systems fall behind, and younger generations pay the price. The real cost, lost futures. When monopolies dominate, entrepreneurship dies, small businesses struggle, innovation slows, social mobility collapses. People don't stop working, they stop believing. That's the real danger. 3 clear takeaways. 1. Canada doesn't have a free market. It has a managed economy favoring incumbents. 2. Stability has turned into stagnation. Protection now blocks progress. 3. High costs are structural. This isn't temporary inflation. It's baked in. The silent risk. Monopolies don't cause revolutions. They cause quiet decline. People adapt. They downsize dreams. They delay life until one day they stop trusting the system entirely. That's when stability breaks.
If you want more deep dive explanations into how modern economies really work, beyond headlines and politics, subscribe. Because the most dangerous systems are the ones that look stable.